kids, my name is Chantelle. Some of you may recognize me from workshops we've done together at Palazzo Farson. Today we're going to do a different workshop at home, safe, and we're going to use ingredients that you can find at your own home. It's going to be inspired by one of our ceramic collections in the museum. As usual, here I have some items that I've created already with this technique. Now, ceramics is created by using clay. It goes back to 28,000 years before Common Era, and in the past they used to use the wet clay and shape it and then put it in fire so that it cures and solidifies. Our recipe is a little bit different. The ingredients obviously are ingredients that you find at home and not the usual ingredients associated with clay, and is going to have a technique where it dries by time. So you don't need to put it in the oven, but it takes about 12 to 48 hours to air dry. Okay, so we're going to start with our ingredients, which will all be listed as measurements in the description of the video, and we will be needed some corn flour. It's important that it is corn flour because it's very fine and white, and we want it to come out as a very white contrast. Together with that, we will be adding some PVA glue that you find at home, PVA glue, and I added a bit of white acrylic paint to it so that it makes it even more white when it dries. You add that in, and with that we will also add a little bit of oil, normal cooking oil. Then you mix the mixture, and when you are mixing, first it will be very liquidy. Eventually you will need to continue to add flour to it until it becomes more doughy in consistency. So, mixing. You can mix this with a normal spatula or a wooden spoon. See how it already is becoming quite doughy, but I can tell that it's still very tacky, so we will add more flour to that. Okay, so I have added more flour and started kneading within the bowl, and as you can see, it became a nice shape here, doughy consistency, and you know it's ready when you try to split it and it cuts evenly and not in a streaky manner. If it's very streaky, it needs more flour. And here it is done. Now the next step is very important, otherwise it won't be as successful. What you need to do now is the dough needs to set, and so you will put it in some stretch and see and leave it for about a day before you start shaping and modeling the clay. If you do not do this step, you may find that it breaks off very easy because the dough needs to set yet. So here I have some dough that I've prepared in advance about a day ago, and it is now ready to start the dough. Alright, so I've kneaded it a bit more. Put some flour on the surface of the cardboard where we're working, and I have something like this which you can use as a rolling pin. You can use a normal rolling pin if you want, and you start rolling it until it's about an inch or so. You don't want it too thin because then it breaks off, and you don't want it too thick because then it takes a long while to dry. Since our ceramic collection is centered about bowls and plates, I'm going to use a normal, smaller shaped bowl at home to cut a circle around the dough. You press on it like so, take off the excess. Okay, you can play with that later. And now we are going to place this shape over the bowl. But a little trick of mine for you is to put a piece of stretch and seal over the bowl itself, so that when it dries, it does not get stuck to the bowl and you can release it easily. Don't mind too much the creases that you're creating with the stretch and seal, because the inner part that is going to be on the surface of the bowl will still be a bit tacky once you remove it, and that way you can grab a little bit of body lotion and smooth out the interior. So we will take off the piece that we've created. Make sure that you put even regular flour on the surface before you start rolling it, because otherwise it will break for you. You put it on top of the stretch and seal and then leave it to dry for about a day or a day and a half. Depends the environment you have. Here I have a previous shape that I had put on the same bowl. As you can see, becomes a very nice hard clay, and once you remove it and you have the creases, you can just grab a bit of body lotion and smooth out the interiors with your fingers, and then color it in many different colors. Here I also have a different example for you. I had this plate at home which has the shape of a shell, and I did the same technique. I put the stretch and seal on top of it, I rolled the dough, and then I placed it completely on top of the plate and cut the perimeter of it. And now we will remove it to show the shape created. As you can see, then you can just use some body lotion to smooth out the creases, the air bubbles that were created with the stretch and seal. But remember that every creation will be original and unique, so even when you color it, everything will come out really nice. Here I have something else, small side plate, and you can do different shapes and a multitude of different works with the remaining dough that you have. Here I have the remaining dough, which I left in an airtight container. I hope you enjoyed this workshop and that you have a lot of fun recreating it at home. Thank you very much, and hope to see you again soon at the Palazzo. Bye!